Yeah. Let's rock and roll. Let's coming to you live from Beventner.
We need confirmation. Is there any echo or anything like that? Please give us some quick confirmation in the stream chat. That would be greatly appreciated. Pops, did you see what tonight's live stream is? The title of the live stream?
Did I see the title?
Yeah.
No. What is the title?
I actually think I set you up pretty nicely. I did. No one knows when the chip shortage is going to end.
I think you could be right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nobody knows the troubles I feel. No, nobody knows. And I don't know if you've heard. I know Alex from Alaska shared it with me as well, but I had seen it in Automotive News. There's been a COVID outbreak.
Yeah.
In a chip manufacturing facility in Malaysia. Apparently, they're the ones that Nissan buys their chips from. And a dear friend of ours, Chip, called me last night to let me know that they had conversation with national people from Nissan, because they have a couple Nissan stores. And, well, Nissan's shutting down worldwide production for about a month because of this COVID outbreak in Malaysia, shutting down the chip manufacturing facility in Malaysia. This is going to go on and on
and on
and on.
And on.
Yes.
But Pops, we do have something that I think will put a smile on your face. We have a joke from Alex.
Okay. Why did Beethoven go to the car dealership? For a lease. Okay.
There you go, Alex. I put it up for you. Okay, so
thank you.
Mark is here. Melissa is here. TSW is here. Mike says I sound like I'm in a tunnel. That could be because I still have a cold.
No, you sound like you're in a tunnel.
But why didn't you tell me that when we were prepping, Dad?
Well, because I wasn't 100% sure. But yes, the more you speak, the more you sound like you're in a tunnel.
Okay, well, I can easily fix that.
Okay, how do you do that?
I think I just did.
Oh my God, talk.
Do I sound better?
Much.
So why didn't you tell me before?
I don't know. And not only that, you look even better.
You're funny, man. Mike Dean's here. Jeremy's here. Car Dad is in the house. Who needs the Washington football team and the Patriots, or even a once-a-year Field of Dreams game? We have Ray and Zach. That's
I appreciate that from Car Dad, but I got to say, if it's a choice between us and football, I'm going with football, so I might have to say see you bye. But if it's a choice between us and a baseball game, I'm going with us, buddy.
I lost you for a second there, Pops. I saw Justice says we have an echo. Is there an echo? I hope I didn't introduce an echo.
I don't know. Maybe am I echoing?
No, you're not echoing. It would be.
I hear an echo from my end.
Give me 1 second, gang.
Do you have that anti-echo software? Yeah.
Say something, Pops.
Hello.
Stop saying something. Sorry, gang. I thought I could fix this real quick. Give me 1 second. So that's connected. There we go. Okay, now it's fixed. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. There should be no echo.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Echo. Okay, that should be fixed. So, Pops, someone, if you can confirm. Yeah, thank you, Jeremy says it's better. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So I'm actually at the new YAA offices, which is kind of cool. Maybe we'll do like an office tour one of these days. I can kind of make myself bigger for a moment here to show you.
Kind of in my bedroom. So if I get bored with this, I'm just rolling off of my chair and going to bed.
Well, hope you don't get too bored. Yes, okay, fixed. We're all good. All right, so Pops, why don't we jump into tonight's members only live stream? We've got plenty of questions that were asked back on the community forum. Let's head over there and start answering them.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Give me 1 second. Let me share my screen. I can't believe you didn't tell me I sounded like I was in a tunnel before. Like, we got prepped. You had all the time in the world to tell me.
You still sound like you're in a tunnel to me.
All right.
Well, what do I mean, maybe it's, I don't know. All right. I know.
Let's see here, Pops. You can see my screen, right?
I can.
First question.
Yes.
From Lemingus Medicus. I haven't read this yet, but I'm going to like it.
Okay, cool.
Pops, the drought in California is causing the future almond supply. God, as I have my almond.
Come on, yeah.
Almond supply to become scarcer than chips worldwide. What comparisons can you draw between the two shortages? And what advice do you have for Zach in the upcoming almond milk futures?
I would suggest to Zach that he just go straight to just water. And, forget them damn almonds. I mean, it just takes way too many almonds that you got to squeeze way too many almonds to get any real amount of milk. So, straight water, I think you'll be better off. And it would be better for the people out west if they had fewer almond grows in California, because there is a natural water shortage in California, from what I understand. Even the Colorado River is getting a little lower.
I mean, everything is, but I don't think it's necessarily because of all the almonds but anyway, could be, might not be.
Almonds are a very water consumptive tree.
Really?
To harvest. Absolutely. I'm not joking about that. That is very true. And there's probably somebody within this community that can confirm that.
Probably go a little bit deeper than either of us can on that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back. Let me share the screen. That was a very funny question.
It was. I like his sense of humor. I'm glad you liked it.
All right. This is from Jeff.
Okay.
Zach, while we understand semiconductor is the reason why we have an auto supply challenge, I wonder if it's worth exploring other factors that may be driving demand, such as the monetary policy of the Federal Reserve. Money is cheap right now. Stimulus checks and the advanced child care tax credits that have made the consumer flush with cash. Ways of working have changed, requiring more people to drive or taking mass transit. Supply chain issues outside of semiconductors, such as factory capacity, factory output, workforce challenges, unemployment versus underemployment, et cetera. Lumber went through something similar, and it took 12 to 18 months for prices to return to a more normal level. What are your thoughts on the above? And Kimberly says, I have to say, an old coworker, F&I manager, told me that they started hitting large numbers in their pay plan as soon as the first stimulus came out, and then took off from there. What do you think, Pops?
Well, I'm sure that any time people are given money back from the government, and we used to see it at tax season, all the years I was in the retail side of things, that when people got their refunds, their income tax refunds, they went out and they bought cars. So I'm sure when they got stimulus checks, they went out and they bought consumer goods. So I think that does play a part in it. I think there are supply chain issues. I think there's any number of things that are factoring into all this. I think COVID still plays a huge role in all this. We said 6 months ago, when people were saying, well, when do you think this would change? I said conservatively then 12 to 18 months. Well, we're 6 months into it. And from having spoken to more people in the car business and what's going on and the issues that they continue to have, I think we're still 12 to 18 months away, which made the whole thing 18 to 24 months away. So I wouldn't be a tad bit surprised if we don't really start to see any significant increases in both new and pre-owned inventory levels until this time next year, perhaps at the earliest.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. It's just going to be prolonged, and it's not going away anytime soon.
No. I mean, my dear friend Chip, he suggested to me last night, he said, if people want to buy a used car now, they should probably buy it, because it's not going to get cheaper in 3 months, because the scarcity is just going to continue to go up. And one of the reasons they have issues is they have some BMW stores, and BMW is running into chip issues themselves, so they're not able to manufacture as many cars as they would like. Now, normally, a decent size BMW dealership might have somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 to 120 service loaners in inventory at all times. And for their stores, they've been told they're not allowed to have more than 39. And for every BMW in service loaner fleet above 39, they will have one new car taken out of their allocation the next month. So they're actually buying up additional used cars to put the used cars into the BMW service fleet. So that's taking what would have been retail used cars off the market. And they're not available as a retail car. So if those are the type of situations that we see manufacturers dictating as far as the number of new cars you can have in your service loaner fleet. So if it's happening at BMW, more than likely it's probably happening at Mercedes-Benz or Lexus or Audi. And creative dealers are going to turn to used cars for their service loaner fleets, thus reducing their retail used car inventory even further.
Definitely. Yeah. How am I coming through, Pops? I changed another setting on my end.
Well, you sound a little tunnely to me, but not bad.
Okay, I'm done messing around. I just want to
the good news is I can understand every word you're saying.
We've done some videos where that wasn't the case. So yes, this is better than. So Pops, we have a couple comments that have come in. We have from Matt Johnson. Ray is right. One of the most inefficient use of resources in agriculture. So your almond advocate, Papa Shevska. We have from Catboy. Yes, environmentally, almonds are a serious challenge, very resource intensive and carbon intensive to produce. So should I drink the rest of this, or do I just throw it out at this point?
Well, here's my suggestion. For all the almond milk that's already been produced, it does nobody any good at all if we were to just throw it all out. Okay? So let's buy up all that almond milk, and let's tell these folks, I don't know, to go to peanut milk or whatever else they can come up with. But yeah, we need things that don't require so much water.
Thank you, Pops. I think that was very well said. Okay, let me share the screen and let's go to the next question back on the community. This is from Dan. Dad, let me say no one is dealing. Some dealers are gouging, adding $5,000 to MSRP just because of the times. I put up my best local deal I could get on Review My Deal last night, and by this morning I had 2 responses. I went with both suggestions, and by 9:30 I'd gotten over $4,000 off the MSRP. Normally that would have been a good starting point, but in today's world, I'll take that in today's world. Best $19 I've ever spent. Thanks so much.
Yeah, well, if you think it's the best you ever spent, my suggestion would be to spend $99, and you can have us in your life all year long.
Well done, Dad. That was a great pitch. We're going to give him a quick.
Yeah.
Yep. There it is.
If you think we're worth $19, we're definitely worth $99.
You
can refer to us you can become a hero to your friends and relatives by subscribing to our channel and to our community and offering up advice when they need help getting a car.
It's fascinating. I think I mentioned this. We had like an internal team meeting today, and I was talking about personas, wasn't I? I mentioned this today.
I recall something along those lines.
One of the personas, I wish I had it printed out. It's like car guru. Yeah, like you can be the person that helps your friends and your peers and your family and let us. Anyway, all right.
If you don't want me to be your car guy and you want to be somebody else's car guy, just subscribe to YAA for a year at $99 and you can be your best friend's car guy.
And we have really fantastic discussion going on right now about agriculture. In fairness, cows require a lot of water and produce a lot of emissions as well. Catboy with a very smart comment saying, good thing cows don't eat almonds.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Steve's chiming in 3 OTD responses on Toyota Tundras. The average was $6,000 above MSRP. We recently did the video, the craziest deals we've seen this year.
The craziest dealer markups we've seen. And even our dear friend Igor said on like G-Wagons, typically you see 10 to 15,000, maybe upwards of 30,000 if it's an AMG G wagon. Things are just dealers can ask and get right now because there's just such a dearth of both new and used car inventory, and people who the worst part is that the people who are buying want and not need. I can understand if you need to buy a car and you're forced to buy a car in this market. That's different than somebody who just wants to buy a car. And there's more than enough people out there who just want to buy a car that are out there actually buying cars, and that's helping to keep the prices elevated.
Pops, we've got a wristwatch check request from Mr. Mike Deem. What are you sporting today?
Today is my Theorema automatic. It's a German watch. It's one of my favorites. I've been wearing this watch for close to a year now. And it's just date. Who the hell? I don't know. It does all kinds of stuff. It does all kinds of stuff I can't do.
All right, let's go back to answering questions. Good looking watch, Pops. Going back here to the community. Okay. I don't have a question for tonight's live stream, but I did want to say thank you for all of your valuable information. I ordered a 2021 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xe 15 weeks ago and was able to get a fantastic deal. The Jeep had an MSRP of $68,785, and I'm walking away at $61,175 plus $1,030 for performance rock rails for a total of $62,205. I couldn't get the dealership in Arizona to budge, so I contacted a dealership in Idaho, and they got it done for me. I am leasing the vehicle and received the normal $7,500 tax credit as a rebate, further reducing the cost to $54,705. I couldn't be happier. Thanks again for all the great info. Sorry, I got to do it again. That's awesome.
That gets the Ray Shefska stamp of approval for sure.
We're actually going to toss out multiple stamps. If that's, do you object?
No. What? Anytime I get to see my name and image on a screen, why would I ever object? And to see one from the F&I goddess herself, Kimberly Klein. No, I would never object.
All right, stamps there. Alex, yes. Hopefully, I'm having fun. Dave, who is affectionately referring to himself as the cheapskate. Razak.
Oh, well, he's got a lot of relatives because I dealt with them all the time in my 43 years in the business.
Razak, what are your thoughts on hail damaged vehicles with salvage titles? I have a dealer nearby that specializes in these vehicles. Of course, I would get a PPI. If everything checks out, how much below a non-salvage title vehicle would be fair? Just looking for a low-priced, fuel-efficient commuter that resembles a golf ball.
Wow. Well, I'm not sure you would need a PPI because typically hail damaged cars, they're not suffering from any mechanical issues. It's all just cosmetic. The insurance companies have specialized teams of paintless dent repair people that they send out to try and repair these cars so they don't have to total them. You're dealing with a vehicle that has a salvage title, even though the type of damage it has wasn't from an accident or a flood, but it was damage that if they did not repair it, and they probably did not if they totaled it, well, then it's going to look like it has dents all over it. So if you're okay driving a car that has dents all over it, and a salvage title, yeah, you're going to take a little bit of a beating on that. If and when you ever went to trade it in.
I accidentally removed you from the screen because I was about to cough, and I meant to remove myself. It's a rookie show tonight, folks. Sorry.
Yeah, well, you know what you need? Huh. You know what they have in radio and TV? It's called a cough button. And it's a little button you push when you're going to cough, and it automatically cuts your audio. Like that.
You know what I love about you?
What?
Is that, no matter what, we can have fun. It doesn't really matter. Anyway.
Well, if we can't have fun, what the hell's the point of doing it?
So what would you say? You've said it in the past. Salvage title is what discount?
It's usually to a dealer. It's usually worth about half of what Blue Book would be, or Black Book, excuse me. So whatever the wholesale value is, it's usually a dealer's going to look at it and go, okay, branded title. If it says 25,000, the dealer's going to go 12. So if how much below a normal retail should you pay in today's market? Who the hell knows? I mean, it's just a cosmetically damaged vehicle that even if you get a sizable discount, you're going to overpay for.
Yep.
In today's market, it's just that simple.
All right, back to the community. Should I get an out-the-door price if I am leasing? I know we've done multiple videos on how to handle your car lease, kind of like step by step, but yeah.
Yeah, you want to negotiate the selling price of the car. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be the complete out the door price. It's what the selling price is going to be. That if you were to purchase the car, that would be the amount that the taxes would be figured on, and the title and all that neat stuff. Now, having said that, on a lease, you want to negotiate the discount off of the MSRP or the dealer asking price in today's world. So that's what you're negotiating. You're negotiating the discount.
Pops, thank you very much for that. Kimberly Klein in the chat said, "Can I just say, Ray had me laughing so hard today. I had tears and almost peed my pants. TMI question mark."
Well, I nearly peed mine.
We were filming, all three of us today, and
yes.
Hopefully we can find a purpose for the bloopers, although I am certain I cursed during it because it was so funny. But Kimberly said something in a particular voice, and I just lost it. Then you lost it. She lost it. It was
we all lost
three minutes that we'll never get back, but it was a good time. Hopefully
it was 3 of the best minutes that I've had this week.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun. Justice says, "Just wait a few more years." It's called laughing. All right, back to the community page. Let me go here. Okay, so that's for you, Tom. Hope that helps. Chuck's been with us for a while. Thanks, Chuck, for being here. Hi, Ray and Zach. Thank you for educating us on this process. Here's my question. Once a vehicle has been ordered from the manufacturer through the dealer, can the invoice price change before the time of delivery, or will it remain fixed based on the initial order price? Good question.
The invoice price can change. From the time you ordered it to the time the vehicle's built to the time that it comes in. And the reason for that is manufacturers reserve the right to increase the cost of the vehicles, both on an MSRP level and the invoice level, to both the consumer and the dealer. So you can order it on a given date and say you ordered it August 1st, and the vehicle doesn't go into production until August 15th and isn't shipped to the dealer until September 1st. And on September 1st, there was a price increase. And so they are going to invoice it at the higher price with the price increase, both on the cost side and the retail side. That's
how often are there increases like that in a model year, do you think?
You would see it once or twice a year with Mini occasionally. And I would think you would see it more frequently today because of all the supply chain issues, that the actual cost of materials is going up. But the dealers and manufacturers are making more money on less sales than they ever have. So, maybe there's still enough profit built in, even with the cost increases, that the manufacturers have figured out a way to absorb it and not complain.
Yeah, probably.
Well, all their marketing expenses have gone down, so that goes a long way in offsetting any supply chain increases.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, back to the community. Okay, from Cassie. If the Lemon Squad doesn't look under the car, wouldn't it be better to use a local garage to do a PPI? We have a video with Yanni on this particular topic, Pops, and I think, what was his recommendation? What's the best case scenario?
Let's say it's a pre-owned Toyota. and you're looking at it at your local Honda dealer. So his suggestion would be to make arrangements to have a PPI done at the local Toyota dealership. So you always want to take the vehicle to a same brand dealer to do the PPI. Now, if it's at one Toyota dealership, you're not going to ask that dealership to do a PPI. So take it to a competitive Toyota dealership to have them do it.
And the nice thing about Lemon Squad, or there's a company called Your Mechanic that does this nationally as well. Any of those is that their whole concept is convenience. They'll go there, but it's expensive, and the quality you have to. Lemon Squad has decent reviews, and for YAA members that have used it, we've only seen good things. So, but we don't endorse any particular company. We just endorse the idea of getting a pre-purchase inspection done.
Yes.
And putting it on a lift is a really important part of an inspection that, Lemon Squad doesn't do.
Hell, that was, even in the day when I was really out there appraising cars, I would get on my hands and knees and look under a car. A lift isn't always available to an appraiser when he's appraising a car. So you get on your hands and knees and you look underneath the car and you take a flashlight and you take a look at what's going on under there. I ruined more pairs of slacks and more suits that way, but I had an obligation to the people that I worked for to do as thorough of an appraisal as I possibly could.
ASU Mirage 15 Dad said, I had a price increase while waiting for a Jeep Wrangler 4xe. However, the dealership honored the original agreed upon amount. There you go.
Yeah, okay. That could happen. And most dealerships, or a lot of dealerships, would pass the price increase along because there was a price increase to the dealer.
Yep. Okay, let's see here. I think I figured out a way. Let me try this. Aha, now I can just share a particular tab. I'm learning, folks. All right, let's see. Common session. Okay. Anyway, we have visited a number of different brand Dallas-Fort Worth dealers to possibly trade up to a new vehicle. Decided to forget about it after making a few observations. Inventory is pitiful. Very few higher trim models available. When questioned directly, dealers clearly have no reliable info on when new inventory may arrive, even if custom ordered. But they seem keen to take custom orders. Yeah, we're noticing this as well.
Yeah.
Bigger issue is the growing arrogance and laziness of many sales staff. Guessing they figure if you want it, then you will pay what they tell you. Adding a premium is a new development. Bottom line is we're out of the market until maybe next year. And like Santa, we're making a list of who's naughty and who's nice for future reference.
I think that's great. I think consumers should do that. If they find themselves in the market and they find themselves at dealerships where there is a much higher level of arrogance than there normally would be, and there is a higher level of ignorance and laziness than you would normally encounter. Keep that in mind so that when vehicle inventories return to levels where customers will be able to get good deals again, that you don't want to make the mistake of rewarding those dealerships that provided the lowest levels of customer service available during times when consumers needed to have their hands held and full explanations as to why things are the way they are.
And that's why we have the dealer reviews back on the community.
Yes.
See people posting there. Thank you. Kimberly keeping me honest. She says the PPI Lemon Squad reports that she receives for the VSCs, the extended warranties that we saw, have photos from under. There you go, Kimberly. So I guess when they can get it up on lifts, they do get it up on lifts. That is good to hear. Jeremy says we keep coming in and out. If we're having tech issues, maybe Kimberly text me or Justice text me. Let me know so that I can try and resolve that. But I think we're coming through clear. Hopefully we're coming through clear. You look good on my end, Dad.
Well, I got to tell you, I only wish I looked half as good as you do.
You're very, very kind. Yeah. All right, back to the community. Actually, from Jeremy. Here we go. Update on his Honda Passport deal. So if you weren't familiar, Jeremy was a success story, a great success story.
Yes.
All right, let's see here. Sorry for jumping around. I recently found out that there was an incentive on my Honda deal that the F&I manager and the sales representative failed to tell me about. To make a long story short, I had a conference call with the general manager, sales associate, and the F&I manager today. What the conclusion was is they need to be more transparent, and they were arguing with me that the incentive should have come up during the front half of the deal, and I was saying how it should have come up on the back half of the deal. Regardless, they did not give me the options for the incentives at all. It is too late to do anything at this point, which I realize, but I was able to get them to give 4 years of tire rotations and oil changes. So ultimately, all parties walked away happy, plus I got the car under MSRP. By you passing on your knowledge of the auto industry, you gave me the knowledge to stand up to the general manager, F&I manager, and the sales associate that were what they were doing is not right, and that you were not being very transparent. I just wanted them to know maybe they can do that to some people, but I'm calling them out. I went so far as to write a formal complaint to Honda Customer Relations if I did not get a satisfactory resolution. I just want to say thank you for your knowledge and your encouragement, Jeremy. Yeah, and this actually, Jeremy, thanks for sharing that with us. I knew this came up because you know how we post. Where do we post it? We post it in the rebates and incentives channel.
Yes.
We post the incentives week over week, and Jeremy saw that there was an incentive on the passport right now, and he asked me. He said, "Is that like right now, last week?" And I'm like, "I mean, they update it weekly. I think it's like for this week." And I guess he used that to go back to the dealership and say, "Hey, was this applicable when I was in the market? And if it was, why didn't I get it?" So good for him for having that conversation.
I think, realistically, all people want is for some transparency. I believe, and maybe I'm naive and maybe I'm wrong, but I believe that, hey, Madeline, I believe that most people would be okay with a dealership making a profit when they sell a vehicle, because that's going to allow the dealership to remain in business. But I don't think it's asking too much for dealerships to be as transparent as they possibly can be and make the customers aware of all the incentives that might be available to them. Because realistically, the incentives are typically paid by the manufacturer and they do not come out of the dealership's pocket. So if it doesn't impact their profitability, if it doesn't impact their bottom line, then it doesn't make sense to hide it. And if you do hide it, then it causes people to think that there must be other things that you weren't upfront about. And that's what causes the buying public to think that dealerships and dealership personnel are thieves. So just be transparent. It's not that difficult.
Pops, that is going to get tonight's first.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. It's the way it should be.
I completely agree. Kimberly, thank you for texting me. I was just seeing that on my smartwatch for letting me know this sounds good. Appreciate all of you.
Hey, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
It did not come through on my dumb watch.
Yeah, we're good.
Good. Glad to hear it. We got to get you that cough button.
I love you, man. All right, Wayne Ball. I've been shopping around for a 3-row SUV and also trying to get some experience dealing with a salesman. I'm really struggling getting out the door prices no matter how many times I ask. I always seem to get monthly cost quotes based on rough estimate OTD that is never on paper. It's usually just the MSRP, the fees, down payment. What does MAS stand for?
Got me.
And monthly cost. They also get squirrely with me when I ask to take the paper or at least a pic of it. I understand they don't want me shopping a competitor. I feel like they are trying to hide a lot from me, including additional fees, dealer options, money factor for lease quotes, and I always try and make me focus on the monthly cost. What can I say or do to get the actual out the door so I have a better idea of what I'm working with? Pops, mind if I just comment briefly on something we were talking about earlier today?
Go right ahead.
So one of the things that we're working on as part of the YAA, like when you log in and you run the market price reports, is actually building out the door price. So it shows as a worksheet that you would get from the dealership, and then creating it in such a way that you'll send it to the dealership and say, hey, here's what I think your out the door price is. Add a fee to it. tell me the doc fee's wrong and just like confirm it, because we ran a survey this past week. Thank you to everyone that replied to it. That's the most frustrating part of contacting dealerships. It's just organizing and succinctly getting the information you want. So, I mean, I know your answer, Dad's probably going to be like, you got to just keep hitting them. You got to just keep hitting them. Well, I want to let you all know that we're working on the technology so that you can send to them, hey, here's what so it'll actually be like, we'll do the email automation. Instead of them spamming you with emails, we'll I don't want to say spam, but like, we'll send emails and say, hey, this is what I think you're out the door. It's confirm it. Anyway, we're working on a tech solution. I'm going to remove myself so you can comment.
Now, here's what I would say. Give the salesperson 2 opportunities to get you the out the door breakdown. Okay. And every time he leaves the desk, notice exactly where it is that he goes to. Okay. Because that's where his manager is. And after the second time that he comes back and he has not provided you with the information that you want, don't ask him a third time. Just get up from the chair and say, hey, do me a favor, follow me. Because that's his famous words, is to always say to the customer, follow me. So just say to him, follow me, and walk his ass with you into the sales manager's office and say,
Tuckus.
What? Tuckus. Yeah, walk his tuckus into the finance manager's office or into the sales manager's office and say, I don't know what's so difficult about this concept, but I would like to get a breakdown of the out the door numbers with all the fees, and I'd like a written breakdown of that. Can you provide me with that? And if you cannot, then I will leave now. And if you can, then it could very well possibly lead to you selling a car. Now, whether or not you selling a car is important to you is up to you, but I'm pretty sure it should be important to you because, well, this is a retail establishment.
You just hit them with the retail establishment, Pops.
Well, I mean, these are the games that people hate. These are the things that taint the entire process. And there really is no good reason for it.
So, but I mean, this is like what we were talking about today, about building out what I was just trying to describe, which will be easier to understand when you can see it, and finding the people who are willing to just share the information, because everyone wins. And Steve has a really good comment here, Pops. If the title of the person you are asking for the OTD is the internet sales manager, I think the chances of getting something useful back is really low. Yeah,
because they'll take people and just say, okay, just add internet manager to your name. It doesn't mean anything.
It's just like that person's just like shuffling.
All they are tasked to do is get you into the dealership.
Which, honestly, you know why they're tasked to get you into the dealership? I was thinking about this a lot earlier.
Okay.
Because most of the leads you get through the internet are crapola. They're garbage. They're not actually people trying to buy a car. They're like, or they live on the other side of and this is like what TrueCar does so poorly. It's like, you've always told me the TrueCar leads were the worst.
Yes. I mean, what were the odds when I was in Towson, Maryland, just outside of Baltimore? What were the odds that somebody from New York City was actually going to, I don't know, come down to Baltimore to get their, I mean, how many mini dealerships did they have to drive past to get to me? Okay.
So it's like, as a dealership, you're paying a premium for those leads. Then those leads are kind of met, and then you're trained to say, get them into the dealership. It's like, it's all so bass backwards. And I'm telling you, I really think Mike Dean said it right, just another funnel. Like, I'm telling you, I think we're doing the right thing by trying to, like, honestly, by being a part of YA, you show a dealership that you're serious. You're going to you're not going to roll over on your back, but like, you're actually going to buy a car.
You're paying us
to help you.
You're paying us $20 a month if you do it on a monthly basis because you're looking to buy a car, or you're paying us $99 a year because you're looking to buy a car. So if somebody who says, I'm a member of YAA, and they say, here's a worksheet that they put together, could you please fill it out so that I can make a proper determination as to whether I want to buy from you or the guy down the street? If you're at the dealership, you should say to yourself, well, they're paying these people because they want to buy a car. Okay.
And that's what breaks
us.
That's what breaks down the TrueCar BS.
Yes.
Anyway, all right. Anyway, Mike Dean, did you know he went to Towson for a semester?
Oh, did you really?
Mike, that's going to get you a.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. I mean, my God, our dealership was right down the street from. I can't tell you all the Towson University students that I used to see that were partying in the apartment complexes across the street from the dealership. Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next question, Pops.
You could see some drunk ones stumbling out in the morning.
We've got from Mark here.
Yes.
I can see how the chip shortage is affecting our buying new cars. Thanks for everything. Here is my question. We are looking to replace our 2 Kona EVs with that are being bought back. Looking at either the Volkswagen ID4 Pro S, there's a VIN here, or a Ford Mach-E. Most dealers are only doing MSRP. I've gotten one VW dealer to get me $500 off MSRP just via text, and that is without trying. So I know there is money there. I haven't tried any Ford dealers yet, as I see the invoice is the same as the MSRP, and I hear Ford dealers are not making money on this car. At least that's what is being said. Any ideas on how to approach this? I'm hoping to have both cars bought back by sometime in September so we can buy both at the same time for some leverage. I hope. I worked when we bought our Kona EVs in 2019, but these are different times, and the zip code as well. First thing that I'm just going to mention is the day supply of inventory. Like, run these VINs, see what the market conditions are in your area. But what are you thinking, Pops?
Well, the other thing I would mention is, that's a line of crap that the invoice and the MSRP are the same on the Mustang Mach-E. They're not. Ford's not selling it to the dealership for the same price that the dealership's supposed to be selling it.
Yeah, there's spread there. Yeah,
absolutely. There's a spread there. Now, whether or not there's enough inventory right now on those vehicles to justify selling it below MSRP, I don't know. You should be able to get the tax credits that one normally gets when they purchase an electric vehicle. So I would think a lot of dealerships would be willing to sell at MSRP and still allow you to get the $7,500 federal tax rebate, I believe it is.
Yeah, definitely. So you should still have access to that.
But that other thing is just crap when it comes to they're the same. No. There's a
running the VIN here, and also, I'll come back to that in a second. Yeah, Mach-E. So the local average is a 58-day. So yeah, there are some Mach-Es for 79 in there. Yeah, so I mean, I would come in here and look for some of these that have higher-ish negotiability score. But it's the game, right? Use the email templates and request off the door price. That's the name of the game here. All right, let's come back here, Pops. This is from John Morgan. What will prices look like for both new and used trucks at the end of the year? Well, you can answer that.
High. They're going to be high. I think they're going to continue to be high. I think the inventory shortages are going to continue for quite some time before things really get addressed. So
we've talked about a little bit. We've talked about just a little bit, Dad. The idea of ordering something and taking delivery in December, possibly, maybe there's something to that. But
yes, but if you're just looking to buy something out of stock at the end of the year, that might be more difficult. It might be easier said than done. If you want to have any chance of assuring yourself of possibly being able to get that car, order it so that it would come in December. If they are able to get enough chips to actually produce the vehicle that you want to order.
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, talking about the Mach-E just reminded me. I'll share my screen again, and we'll go back to the community. But there was this article in Automotive News today. Ford says chip shortages today. Some Mustang Mach-E. Yeah, I mean, it's just
and the other Ford news is right above it. Ford Bronco roof issues worsen, and some production will be delayed. So that's got to scare you.
All right,
the worst thing a manufacturer can do is to bring a car to market and that typically is what happens in the first year of production.
Say that again. I accidentally removed you. I'm sorry.
The worst thing a manufacturer can do is bring a car to market when it's not ready to be brought to market. Okay, all these issues should have been addressed prior to actually bringing the car out for retail sale. They should have understood what what type of roof issues they were going to have if they really did a good job of engineering and putting these things through their paces. And obviously, they were in a rush to get the cars out. So that's why a lot of people say, I would never buy the first year production of a new model.
Yeah, fair enough. Did you know, Pops, when Mike Dean, Kimberly Klein says amen. When Mike Dean was at Towson, he was studying jazz commercial performance on guitar.
Wow, very cool. And that is a way to see to it that you're never going to make a lot of money and not have health insurance. So there you go.
Unknown is late. Correct. And Cardad says all Bronco hardtops will need to be replaced. All, not some. Yeah, it's crazy. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. Sharing the screen again, Pops, because we had a flurry of questions come in. We had 15 when the night began, and I think it's over 30 right now. So, CX5 guy. And plus we have some news that we need to share with the community. Okay, so let's answer CX5 guy. I'm looking at a 2020 Mazda CX-5 that is sitting at a Land Rover dealer. The dealer is telling me that they are better off selling the car at auction than selling it to me at a reasonable price. They reference the MMR rate, which I believe to be the market rate.
That's the Manheim market report.
Yep. It's my understanding that there are fees that the dealer will incur by sending the car to auction. What are these fees? Also, does anyone have access to the Manheim auto pricing reports? They claim that their pricing indicates that they are better off selling it at auction. However, it continues to sit on their lot. What gives, and how can I make them budge?
Well, to me, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard a dealer say. And the reason I say that is if they have a retail customer, that gives their finance department an opportunity to sell product. And the average back end today in finance is about $1,500 per car sold. So even if they traded this car and based on what the average price that's being paid for that car at the auction is, that they could make money, why wouldn't they then just turn around, sell it to you at the MMR price, not have to pay any auction fees at all? Because they don't just run a car through the auction because you say you want to run it through the auction. They charge you for the privilege of having it run through the sale. So they could save that fee. They could sell it to you and make the same amount of money that they thought they were going to make wholesale, and that they would have the opportunity to have you go into the finance department and maybe, just maybe, buy something in there, and they could make additional money in there. So it doesn't make any sense. I would go in there. I would go in there and I would say, I'll tell you what, let's pull up vAuto. Let's put that car in vAuto and pull up Manheim Market Report. Let's see what it's bringing at Manheim Market Report, and I'll pay you what that average is. How about that?
Yeah, and I think this is a perfect example of feigning interest in back-end profit centers to try and convince or convey the price. Yeah. Take everything my dad just said and run with it. Interesting, Pops. So we have from Mike Dean, hence why I switched to finance and moved home. And Justice says he has a master's in acting and can confirm no pay, no help.
See, I don't know much. I know a little about a lot, but I don't know a lot about anything.
Hey, so I do have some exciting community news to share. I'll open back up to share my screen. There's a community member named Space, who, if you're familiar with, or if you've been on the community, he is one of the most active and engaged community members. And interesting enough, Zero posts 320 comments. And these are not small comments. These are thoughtful, well thought out comments. And so I thought I'd just share an announcement with the community at large is we've actually, fortunately enough, brought Space on as now a YAA advocate. So not only is he a community champion and a premium member, but he is actually now a part of the team in a part-time capacity, but still. And so I thought it'd be worth mentioning that. And Space, thank you for being a part of YAA. Thank you for helping 320 people. And incredible, right, Dad?
Yes, I got to meet Space today, and as I said to him, I said I just think that what you bring to the community is just spectacular. The amount of effort you put into helping the people, the investigations you'll do to figure out what money factors are and what residuals are, and the thoughtfulness of your responses and replies, and the depth of those responses and replies. It makes me look like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and he's not even in the car business.
Yep. It's pretty incredible stuff. We've got a lot of fanfare from everyone here. So thanks for encouraging space. Yeah, it's awesome. And of course, Justice does yeoman's work in the community. Kimberly does yeoman's work in the community. Mike does. Everyone here does a lot, of work. You as well, Dad.
I don't do as much as I could because I got a nap every afternoon, and that cuts into some of my time, and
All right, let's go back to the community. Okay, so we have from Sean O'Connell. I bought my 2020 Puma travel trailer in October 2019 for $25K, used it for 3 weeks, and sold it a month ago for $26,000 cash.
Good job, you.
Went to Ford and got a trade-in on an appraisal for my 2010 250 F250 XL with 120,000 miles. Dealer trade-in was $13,000. Dealer retail, $22K and $9,000 spread. Wow.
Yeah. And you know what the scary part is? They'll get close to or more than that 22,000.
From our friend Rob Morris, Ray Zach, selling my car via consignment, lowered the price about 3 weeks ago, got a lowball offer. At what point do I consider another price reduction? Car Gurus says it's a fair deal, about $300 above their number. Consignment dealer says it's slow because it's summer in Florida, but I think it needs better marketing. Oh, do you know the latest retail prices on used cars? Up, down? Thank you. I'll pull that up, Pops. Do you want to answer your thoughts on something?
Yeah, the retail prices have ticked down slightly, and when I say slightly, I mean like you need a microscope to see how little they've.
No.
Oh my God, they ticked back up.
They are the highest they've ever been. Holy.
Yeah. So they had ticked down a little bit for 4 weeks in a row, and they ticked back up this last week. So if that's the case, and that follows along the lines of what my buddy Chip said last night. That this shortage is only going to continue, and that the prices are only going to continue to keep going up. So I would think that there really shouldn't have to be much of or any concession at this point if retail prices are starting to unfortunately tick back up again.
Yeah, I would just stay patient.
Yes.
Yep, stay patient. Wow, I can't believe they ticked up. We'll have to make a video on that.
And it was a somewhat significant uptick.
I mean, considering the down ticks, no, I mean that's huge. That's like we're now at the highest retail prices we've seen this year on used cars.
Yes.
Okay, we'll dive into the report later on.
We of all the curves that need to be flattened, that one really needs to be flattened.
From Caden Beagle, I couldn't agree more. I'm really interested in getting an electrical vehicle. Oh my, electric vehicle currently. Would you guys mind giving your thoughts?
Wait. Was that pun intended? Electric vehicle currently. I'm sorry. I'll be good now.
No, here it is.
No, it's not, but it's just, that just seemed funny because there's a lot of current in electric vehicles. So that's all. I hear and read things funny. I apologize.
I wasn't giving you. I wanted to. You don't have to apologize. I think, in retrospect,
yes,
with a slower brain than yours, I agree. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, when you see it worded like that, yeah, to me that's funny.
As I fumble over trying to read it. All right, let's go back to it.
Okay.
So, I'm really interested in currently getting an electric vehicle. Just on the post. Would you guys mind giving me your thoughts on the subject? Such as, and there it is again.
Yeah. My God, this is really a charged question. Electrically charged. Oh my God. It's like it was struck by lightning.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah. State of available models, the shift in the market from gas to electric, etc. For me, I honestly really like the design of the Kia Soul. Yes, really. And I'm happy there is already a Kia Soul EV, but sad to see the new Gen 2020 and later models are currently unavailable in the US. There are not many other EVs I am interested in and affordable. I've considered settling for a mini electric. Pops, what is your take on this transition from ICE, internal combustion engines, to EV? And I guess since you had that time at Mini, what are your thoughts on the Mini EV?
Well, when I don't know if it was when I took the car in for service one time, but I did drive. Shocking. I like that, Kimberly. Very good. I did take the electric Mini. Oh, this is great. I did take the electric Mini out for a drive, and it is an incredible little vehicle. And my understanding is that, for instance, Mini's considering bringing out a full electric Countryman at some point. The future is electric, as I think every manufacturer has made that pretty clear. Some have said the future is sooner than others, but we will have more and more options available when it comes to electric vehicles, and there are any number that are very reasonably priced. But the issue right now is like everything else. There's just a short supply of cars. And until that improves, it could take a little bit of time to be able to find a reasonably priced one. Yes, there are positive and negative experiences. Yes. And some of the charges are positive and negative. Yeah.
We have the best. This is the best community. I absolutely love this.
Yes.
We also have data. I don't know if you'll get this one. I agree with you, Mike. If this keeps up,
I get it. Yeah.
All right. A little science flashback.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for addressing that one, Pops. So my phone's sitting here next to me, and I have the community app downloaded on my phone, and I just keep seeing more and more comments are being posted. We're going to keep going. We're just going to keep going. All right. Let me share my screen again. Oh, my. We just had another good one come through. I'll pull up in a second. Okay. Tyler, just found this channel a week or so ago. Sorry about that, Tyler. You're sucked in. Great information being shared. Thanks. I'm curious what your thoughts are on playing the bubble with a trade-in. If I'm looking for a new car anyway and have a vehicle with high trade-in value, is it worth trading now to take advantage of the bubble? What's your take on that, Pops?
Well, yeah. I mean, we see a lot of comments in the community forum where people are just getting astronomical amounts for their trades, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 more than what they paid for the cars a year or 2 years ago. So if you can get the dealer to agree to a rather high trade-in value, it will mitigate the high selling price of the new vehicle, and one will wipe out the other. So it'll bring it back down to a more normal total out the door price, including the trade-in. The deal that you need to concern yourself with, as I've always said, is you want to be selling or trading your car as we're approaching the apex or the high point of what the values are going to be, and you don't want to wait a week or 2 or 3 weeks too long and end up trading it or selling it when we're moving down.
Which we should comment, that same Black Book report that showed retail prices going up showed wholesale prices going down again this week.
Okay.
And so the impact but the impact of wholesale prices going down is trade-in valuations are going to go down.
They'll take the biggest hit the quickest.
So it's interesting to think about. But also, if you can sell a car right now, you don't need to replace it. Sure, go for it. Buy a car in a year if you can wait that long.
Yes.
Also,
wow.
It's just
you know what we need now? We just need J.J. Watt of the Cardinals to get involved.
Yes, he'll be our first celebrity interview on the show
from the electric car. Yeah.
Yes, from Marty. Marty, thanks for being a part of the community. Guys, if there's a dearth of inventory, why are cars still spending 30 plus days on the lot? And what should we really take away from that number? Pops, is this the time that you want to kind of talk about floor plan costs and some insights that you've gotten recently from some community members?
Well, I think part of the problem is dealers are willing to sit on the cars a little bit longer than they might have in the past because they know that there's going to be less and less cars for people to be able to choose from. However, there is a cost associated with that. I did ask a friend of the channel to give me some insights as to what the basic floor plan costs are for his dealership at the moment, and this is going to seem relatively cheap. But I asked, what is it on a daily basis? And right now, he said for the first 90 days, the rate of interest being charged is 27 cents per day for each $1,000 evaluation. So if a car, I ran a car that if it had an invoice of $50,000 at 27 cents a day, that's $13.50 a day it's costing the dealership to have the car sit on the lot, or $405 a month. And after 90 days, that rate goes up to 45 cents per day, per thousand. And once you get beyond 120 days or whatever the next number was, it goes up to $1 a day per thousand. So these costs can become astronomical when you have a lot of inventory. If you don't have a lot of inventory, and most dealerships don't at this particular point in time, it becomes easier to say, I'll let the car sit a little longer than I might normally have, because ultimately I know I'm going to get the extra money for the car that I wouldn't have gotten in the past.
Well said, Pops. Well said. And super interesting data. We are so fortunate to be able to have someone who currently manages dealerships share exactly what it costs.
Yes.
I mean, that's
we've always tried to explain floor planning and that it is an expense. And, if that expense is 27 cents for every 1,000, that starts, you can start adding it up as to what that might mean when a dealership has, I don't know, $10 million in inventory sitting on the ground. Now, there probably aren't a lot of dealerships that have 10 million in inventory sitting on the ground right now. But, that was a normal scenario at a lot of dealerships. So start figuring it out. It's expensive to have those cars sit there. Now, I'm not saying that even though they have that expense, that they aren't making a lot of money, because they are. But there are any number of expenses that most people don't realize that are associated with actually selling a car, above and beyond what you have to pay in salaries and commissions and everything else.
Let's keep moving, Pops, only because I've got to figure out how to get to my new apartment at some point tonight. And we've got
that would be a good
more questions. Okay, this is from Steven.
Yeah.
Analytical for my own good. You came to the right place. I'm going to lease. How should I get a good idea of what money factor I can get ahead of requesting a lease quote from the dealer so I can have something to compare their offer to? Assume 800 plus score.
Well, I have seen, I know Spaces mentioned there's forums on Edmunds.
Yeah, Edmunds is a good place to get money factors. But at the end of the day, right, you got to just contact multiple dealerships, and see what the spread is on the money factors and ask them if it's buy rate, right?
Yes. I mean, because there was somebody that posted something earlier today, and the money factor was 0.00196, which seemed a little high to me, because that's almost 5% interest. So that seemed a bit high. So you have to ask, and then you have to ask, is that buy rate? And then you have to hope that when you say that, when those words come out of your mouth, you've shocked them enough that they can't think quickly enough on their feet to go, no.
Well, that's also why you get multiple quotes from multiple dealers, because if there is a spread, then you can start to piece together who's telling the truth. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. We have a nice comment here. Zach had a great piece on the 28th, explains why leasing is favorable to buying given the current buying environment. I know every situation is different, but would you apply this to someone attempting to get into a luxury SUV right now in Chicago, given the extra lease tax in the city, which some call the worst place in America to lease on the lease hacker forums? I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with this extra lease tax.
Yes, neither am I. But it would still mitigate the extra profits that dealers are collecting in additional dealer markups. So, do you want it to go away in 3 years, or do you want to still be saddled with it in 3 years because you decided to finance it? That's a tough question to answer, especially when neither one of us is really familiar with with any of the lease tax in Chicago.
And the whole concept behind leasing right now instead of buying is that you have that you're paying for the depreciation up until that point, and by then the market should be more normalized. You can go buy a car at a normal price. If you're going to buy a car and hold on to it for the next decade, no need to lease it. Just go buy it. But if you're just going to move into another vehicle, there's no point in financing all of the additional dealer markup.
Yeah, we would certainly assume that in 3 years' time, everything should be back to normal, and what we're living through now should not and probably will not be the new normal.
Because factory to dealer incentives can play a significant role in the OTD price, is there any means by which I can find factory to dealer incentives on a particular vehicle at a particular time? Thanks in advance. We wish, but
no. You're up to the transparency of each dealership as to whether or not they want to share that information with you, and they'll share with you consumer incentives, but they might not necessarily share with you factory to dealer incentives. But right now, there's probably not a tremendous amount of factory to dealer incentives because they're unnecessary. Everything's getting sold.
Zach, how long has it been since you drank dairy milk? Probably a long time. I eat a lot of ice cream, though. Ice cream's delicious.
I didn't know that. When did you start eating a lot of ice cream?
Have you opened your freezer recently?
Why is my ice cream gone?
You might want to check after tonight's live stream.
I did not know that.
All right, we keep going. This is from Henry. I've been looking for a certain specific car and trim in the state of Massachusetts, a Hyundai Palisade calligraphy all-wheel drive. I saw one on Vroom, and they told me that they can't sell it in my state. Ray and Zach, is this something you guys have heard about or heard before?
Maybe because they don't have the ability to get you a title, to get you tags for the vehicle, because they can't do a temporary tag for Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's what was going through my head too. The state of Massachusetts doesn't have temporary or drive-off tags, so I guess maybe if you're out of state, they can't sell to you in the state of Massachusetts because they would want to have to deal with the shipping. Yeah,
because they would have to title it and tag it first so that you could drive it.
Yeah, Massachusetts is unique in that way.
Yes.
Menicus, would it help to apply current to almonds?
I think it would. I'm reminded of somebody once said to me, how do you when they take a camel to drink, how do you get the camel to drink? And somebody said you take 2 bricks and you put the camel at the pond, and you take 2 bricks and you smash the bricks against the camel's testicles. And they said, well, doesn't that hurt? And the answer is only if you get your thumbs in the way. So, I'm sure current would certainly help the almonds. Sorry, Zach.
What?
It causes the camel to go, and it sucks up all the water. The shock.
Space is in the house.
Yay, space.
Thanks for being in space. Here we go. Now we got some good conversation happening. Haagen-Dazs. Christina says the Kroger lactose-free chocolate ice cream last night, amazingly good. They're hit or miss. The vegans among us are feeling assholes are definitely unique. I'm going to do a quick little, just give me 1 second. And then Pops, we have one thing I want to wrap up on with tonight. When did I do this? I think I posted it. Yeah, I posted this back on my Instagram. I'm going to share my screen just to make a point here. Do not, unless you really want to offend someone, ever buy this non-dairy frozen dessert almond milk coffee caramel fudge open. It was 4 out of 5. Yeah, it was bad. It was very bad. Also, this is the mug I made for my dad that he drinks.
Yes. That mug's in my cabinet.
It is indeed. Friendly reminder, follow me on Instagram. Follow my dad. He's almost at 1,000 followers, which is incredible.
Don't know why.
Follow your Advocate Alliance back on
Yes.
Instagram. We have over 2,000 followers, Dad. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Also, you get behind the scenes stuff like us getting set up for tonight's stream.
Wow, I'll be a son of a gun.
Good. Thank you.
Well,
We had a community member tell us that we should talk about John's story here tonight. So I haven't read it yet. Let's read it together. We'll respond, and then we'll go on with our evenings.
We'll go what?
On with our evenings. I am so nasally. I'm sorry.
Yes. Well, you have to find out where you live and how to get there.
I've had $500 down on a new Hyundai Tucson hybrid. It was delayed a bit, and I finally heard today that apparently a wiring harness was damaged somehow in shipping, and they have to repair it. As a result, it can no longer be sold as a new vehicle, but will be sold as certified with a $1,000 discount. The dealer was offering it for MSRP. Otherwise, it's $1,000 below that. The certified and new car warranties are essentially the same. The full 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain applies along with the 5-year, 60,000-mile comprehensive. It would actually come with a little better roadside assistance warranty of 10-year unlimited mileage instead of 5 years. Obviously, getting a discount sounds nice on a model that is not being discounted otherwise, and I don't care if it is technically new or not. My concern would be if this is a sign of a lemon. He said this doesn't happen very often. Given how quickly these have been selling, it's unlikely that that it's a car that sat for a long time and got munched on by rodents. Not sure how a wiring harness gets damaged in shipping, though. Any thoughts on whether I should take it as a wonderful gift or run away from it like the wind? I can put money on another one instead.
That is the oddest thing I've ever heard. It's like, how you're going to damage a wiring harness in shipment while it's on a boat. What's going to happen to it? And there could be rodents on the boat, and so perhaps that way. But just because a wiring harness would have to be replaced doesn't mean that it would then become a certified pre-owned car. Something doesn't make sense somewhere. And Kimberly agrees. It almost sounds to me. Would the customer still be getting the electric vehicle tax credits that normally come with these vehicles? Because if he's not, then it sounds to me like the dealership bought it, put it in their leasing company's name, collected the $7,500 federal tax credit, and is now selling it as a pre-owned car, and they've pocketed that $7,500 tax credit, and so they're giving you a $1,000 discount so you can buy this certified car, which means they're only making an extra $6,500. That's what it sounds like to me, but I couldn't be 100% certain.
Damn.
What's it sound like to you? If I blow up, ladies and gentlemen, it's only because I had an internal sneeze and not an external one. Exactly. Yeah.
Pops, it sounds like to me we've done another members only live stream in the books. Sorry about the audio issues earlier. Obviously, getting a new setup here. This is the YAA temporary office in Bethesda, Maryland. Come work with us. We have open positions. We are hiring. We need help.
Yes.
This said it right. It smells a little fishy. I will be back in Ventnor Saturday night for Saturday night's live stream. I'm looking forward to that, Pops. Can't do that with you. And I have your car hostage again. So, we'll see when I bring it back.
Well, hopefully sometime Saturday. Because I was really thinking Mexican food tonight.
Oh, you want to go to our spot?
Or tomorrow night, but I kind of can't get there. Can't get there from here.
Let me put the job postings. Seriously, if anyone knows anyone, we are in particular the lead product designer. Man, I've sent out probably 500 cold emails at this point. I'm trying really hard to find the right person who can help us design the right stuff. Anyway, links in the chat. Thank you guys. Thanks for everyone being here. Thank you, Stiggs. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Justice. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Steven. Yeah, you're the man, Pops. Thanks for everything.
Thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you Saturday and my car. Well, have a nice dinner tomorrow night.
All right, Pops. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you too. Good night.
You can stay. I'm just going to hit the end broadcast.
Okay.
You can stay.